What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Beyond Boundaries, man. We got a special guest for here. It's not very often you got a professional athlete talking to you, man. So, just before we even got the cameras rolling, we've already got some great conversations. So I'm letting y'all know now. I promise y'all, this is going to have tons of content that y'all are going to want to hear, and we're going to talk about some very good, interesting things. So before we even get going further, I'm gonna let Kelvin introduce himself and just kind of let them know let the people know who they're gonna be hearing this wisdom from.
So you already know. Hello, my name is Kelvin. So I went to high school with my boy, Jamin. So I play soccer. I'm a professional soccer player in Cyprus. It's a little island that's in Greece. I play for a team called Ammonia, but I'm on loan right now to a team called Miep. Nassau is in the second division of Cyprus. I'm getting experience, so I can eventually play for my main team. And there's a lot to unpack in this episode. I feel like there's a lot that people don't see, in the sports world that I can uncover for you guys, I'm
gonna let y'all know, me and Kelvin has inspired me to make a special announcement later in the episode that we're gonna talk about. It really had to do with my whole football experience, and we're gonna talk about burnout and experiences like that. But before we even get to that, man, this is something that was new to me. I just heard this before the show. Kelvin is a professional soccer player who has played has got zero experience of varsity high school soccer.
Yeah, man. So,
crazy. Talk about that.
Yeah, man. So my story starts at Fire Branch High School. Freshman year, obviously you're not going to get varsity. That's what it is. That's the honest truth. But, sophomore year, I really thought, maybe I was playing. For me, I've only been playing competitive soccer or football since 14 years old. So I never really understood the game. I was just a good athlete. I could jump, I could, but I didn't understand the game. So I understand what I wasn't on varsity in my freshman year. But sophomore year, I really wanted it. I really wanted to be on varsity. But then something with the coach,
couldn't get along.
He didn't like me like that. So what happened is cool. And it was more of behavior issues. But for me, it wasn't like I was doing drugs or anything. It was more of the fact that I like talking. And I always project myself.
You always have an energetic personality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the coach didn't like that.
Yeah.
Not my problem. And I should have transferred that. But everything's in God's plan. Amen. So what happens is now junior year, COVID. Couldn't do anything, I was on JV again. But thank God the season cut short. I was going to transfer. I swear, I could almost swear to God I was going to transfer. Because there's a school near me called Cherokee Bluff. They wanted me to play on that team. I thank God, thank God COVID happened.
Yeah, it's a bigger plan.
I swear, senior year, right? Then I transferred. I transferred that junior year actually to North Gwinnett. Senior year came, right? I transferred to North Gwinnett, and then I was eligible because at that time I wasn't living with my auntie. I was living in Sewanee, so they found that out and they said I couldn't play, but I could stay at the school. So now what happened was I was like, man, and I was like asking God, do I have to be Buford? Because at that time you could pay tuition and I could be on the team, pay tuition. But I was like, God, bro, what do I do? I just transfer. I don't want to be that kid that transfers, and I never played a varsity minute, So then I took it above myself to now reach out to some couple teams because in the club off season there's still teams playing the high level ones, and there's a league called MLS Next. And so I took, I like to thank Coach Bruno. He helped me a lot. Kalanja Soccer Academy, that's the MLS Next team. They were one of the best in the nation. So what happened was they took me in. I'm thinking to myself, and they said I was very good. So I was thinking to myself, how can this coach from Flag Branch really demote my mentality? I valued myself so low because of what he thought, And I'm like, what? I just made the MLS Next team. That's higher than any level in America,
Yeah, seriously.
So I'm like, bro, I know my value now. I know my value. So nobody can tell me anything. I just know my value. And trust me, Kalanja was not easy. Everybody there was fast, strong. I wasn't special. By no means I was special. My only special thing about me was what I knew, not what people knew. My confidence, and that's what's gonna take you to sports, the confidence. So what happens now is I can only rely on that. My skill is gonna improve eventually, but at that current time when I first joined, my confidence. That's how the only way I can grow and be uncomfortable. At that time, I was very uncomfortable because I'm not playing high school soccer. These are the people. I was very uncomfortable. That's the best way to grow as an athlete, uncomfortability.
For sure.
So what now happens is now I was like, yeah, we're getting to it. And then my first year there, we went to the round of 16 in the MLS Next Cup. That made us the 16th best team in the nation. And I was one of the best players in the nation at the time.
Wow.
Yeah. At the time.
And so this is, you said, this is about senior year?
My junior year.
Okay.
Yeah. Senior year came around.
Okay.
Right? Wasn't going to play no high school. You know, there's a rule that if you play MLS Next, you cannot play high school.
Really?
At the time.
So at this time you're deemed a professional?
No. I was a professional. I was in a professional academy.
Okay.
I was not I was not pro yet.
Okay.
So what happens now is so we went to the new season started. At the time, if you played high school and academy, you're going to be charged $30,000 and banned for 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, so I couldn't do that. So what happened was now I took online school instead. I took online school with North Gwinnett. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, so I went, I played. We didn't do so well that season, so that's a season to actually forget. But I got so much better. But the coach then was doing some weird stuff. You know, no shade to KSA, but I didn't like it. So I left. I went to Atlanta United UPSL. Went there. I didn't play game there though, and I had left there too because I was like, you know, I'm tired of. I know I'm so much better than what like people are saying I am. I know I am. It's what, at the end of the day, again, it's about what you believe. God puts that idea in your head because He's not trying to. The enemy's going to tell you something else. Is what God puts in your head, and that's why I pray every day to get my ears to be sensitive to what God is telling me. Because God talks to you all the time. God can talk to you all the time. This could mean God's giving me a message to talk to you, maybe. It could be a message of me talking to you guys.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just you always got to be sensitive to what God has to tell you. So at that time, God was telling me something like, "Kelvin, you're better than whatever He's telling you." Cool. All right. So I'm like, I gotta go pro this summer. I swear, I gotta go pro this summer. 2023 summer, I was trying to go pro. So what happened was I went to the national team. I got some connections there, so I made my connections, went to the national team, went to the national camp. So what happens is now it's like the camp is like a trial, like you know, like for the with all the national team players, like are you good enough to it? I was going to do the U20. We had a tournament at the time, but because I wasn't a professional yet, I could not get them. I was so mad. So I was in search of getting a professional contract, but as an American, you know, it's hard in Europe to get a professional contract because they don't really value Americans. So now,
and what does this process look like? Like, how you just reaching out to people? You have an agent? Like,
yeah, I had an agent at the time.
Okay,
you know, I like to thank God because for me, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people. In high school, I was very resourceful.
For sure,
you know, I was able to be cool with a lot of people very quickly. So I was able to get this one guy in Ghana. He was really well connected. You know, and at this time, usually agents do pay you as well because they know they're going to return back. So what happens is like, I was going on trials. So I remember my first trial was in Germany. First trial. Team Prusen. There was third division at the time, not second division. Big team in Germany. They didn't get me because I only had an American passport, and you had to pay the athlete a minimum of $200,000 at the time, right? $200,000 to get a visa. So to get a visa, and that's you need a visa as an American citizen going to Europe. So what happens is now, I didn't sign because of that. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, that's one trial gone. And then at the time, and then I started getting distracted. You know, came back from Germany, just getting distracted, man, partying and all that. I was like, oh my god. And this is what I'm to the part now we're gonna talk about the burnout. So this part is when I didn't know I had a burnout. After my first professional trial, the big team. The reason why that didn't make it, I was like, wow, everything coming up to this point is like, I didn't play high school soccer, played MLS Next, you know, but didn't make big noise. And now I'm going to professional trial, they didn't get me because of that reason. I was like, in my head, I didn't know I had a burnout. Again, I didn't know. But in my body knew it was a burnout. In my head, I was like, I'm going to go back, man. I'm happy. I'm telling everybody I'm happy because everybody's like lifting me, but I'm going off of what people are saying to me that, oh yeah, Kelvin, you're going to be so well. But I'm not going off of what my body's telling me. You know, I'm not going off what God's telling me.
And my whole thing is, like, I think that the thing that people often forget is, I couldn't imagine being in your situation, but it's just like everything that goes beyond just the actual, you know, trials itself, just the games itself, like, having to go to Germany here from this, and just like, you know, just the constant hustle and bustle, you know, talking to your agent, like, it's constant mental stress, like, especially with your situation, because it seems like you often kind of like were betting on yourself, taking a leap of faith. So it's like the mental of just, you know, that constant uncertainty, and even like when you are getting those results, that's one thing for me. Like, it was constant uncertainty to a point where even when I did get those results, it's like always a next step too, to where like I could totally understand just like the burnout, like you said, easy to get distracted. You wanted to just relax, chill out. So you continue.
I was partying and everything. I was like, At the time, I wasn't questioning myself. I'm like, bro, I'm going to make it one day. But then I was like, everybody like, okay, so that was from October 2023 to like December 2023. Got distracted, cool. Now New Year came. I went to Ghana. I went to Ghana to go to the national team again, make sure to see if anything could change. Nothing changed. So I went to a training. So I was in Ghana for a month. So 2 weeks I was in the national team. Nothing happened. So then what happened was my trainer in Ghana was just training me. You know, obviously getting fit, ready for trials again. Nothing happened in January. I was very mad. Nothing fell through. You know, something fell through. I don't know what happened. But I was supposed to go to Italy. Nothing happened. Cool. And now I'm stuck at home for another 3-4 months. I was partying, getting distracted.
And I want to ask you this. So at this point, you're not in school, right? And no salary either.
No, I was getting. The agent was paying me.
Okay,
so when I went to Germany, I got like my agent paid me like a good like $5,000, $6,000. Just just like out of the 3 months I was 2 months I was there. You know, and I saved the money too as well. So I was like, God, Germany's not expensive to live in. Yeah, everything's getting paid for. Like I was in everything. So sorry. Yeah. Okay. So everything was getting paid for. So I had a $5,000-6,000 at the time. I spent all that, dude. I spent all that when I came back partying. All that. I swear, I spent all that, and it's pretty bad. You know? Yeah, that's another thing. Financial literacy. I did for sure. Time. That's something. Everything has to do with burnout. You know, you're just doing whatever you want because like you just don't care anymore. Yeah. At the time, so I'm like, and I'm telling people, oh my God, I'm a professional soccer player. I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna make it. And one comment people were saying about me, and that I will always remember it. And it was deserved. At the time, I didn't understand it, but it's deserved. And that's what changed me. Somebody called me a fake soccer player. Dude, that hit home. Really? Dude, and I was like looking at myself like, dude, I look like a fake soccer player. Drinking every weekend, partying, how can I look like a soccer player? How can I blame these people for thinking that? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to take it on to myself, to my agent. I need to go to this club in April. Need to. 2024 April. I need to. Went to Spain, went to Italy, 2 trials, came back. I heard from Spain they liked it, but the money wasn't sounding right. Italy wasn't interested. Cool, I understand that. I'm not big enough yet. I wasn't mature enough yet as a player. So I'm like, okay, cool. Spain didn't like it, but I was about to take it. But by God's grace, I didn't take it because I would have been stuck there. I would have been stuck because I do not fit Spanish football. Style at the time. At the time, I didn't understand professional, and I wasn't uncomfortable. I was always comfortable. I always wanted to be comfortable. So I wasn't uncomfortable. So what happened was like, if I'm uncomfortable, if I'm comfortable, I can't play well. Yeah, that's the honest truth. Unless I'm experienced, once I'm experienced, I'm comfortable, then straight. But at this age, I feel like for an athlete, I'm not like, especially like at this age, 18, 19, 20, 21, really trying to make it professional or going big D1, you have to be uncomfortable.
Need something to grow at.
I swear.
Need something to keep you going. Yeah.
Exactly. Because imagine me playing I'm not gonna diss Atlanta United, but imagine me playing for Atlanta United, right? At this age, 21. I'm sorry, at this age, 19, right? Bro, I would not be the player I am today. Really? Impossible. Really? Impossible. Really? Impossible. And wait, I forgot to bring up, I skipped the college game completely. You know what I'm saying? That's already a big
from
thing.
From JV to pro.
Literally, right?
From JV soccer to pro.
That's what it is, right?
That's wild.
That's what it is. And it's like, it's crazy what God has done for me in my life, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. And it's like, I like studying humans as well, So.
And perfect transition. You said, because when we were talking before camera, you brought up this idea of burnout, and I just want to talk about my situation specifically because, I grew up, and similar to you were telling me you have, a family of successful athletes. Yeah. So similar to me, I have a cousin played in the NFL. Exactly. Brother played D1. Another cousin played D1. It's
kind of high.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And I think what made it worse for me is I don't like to say that I peaked early, but I was definitely really good in middle school, dominant in football.
So what happens is now the growing, the coaches don't know how to coach a player like that when you're always the best.
Literally, yeah. And just even for internally, it was just I don't know, like you were saying, the uncomfortableness. I'm going into high school thinking that I'm just finna coast my way to D1. You know what I'm saying? And it's at this point where I do realize I have scoliosis, and I'm not gonna act like scoliosis is life threatening or anything. Of course. But it kind of stalled my growth. So I'm at this point where everybody's shooting past me, and like I'm the same old Bill, same athleticism and everything. Yeah. Now people 6'5", 330 pounds or whatever, going and like they're doing crazy stuff. And I say all this to say that it really just got to a point where I did feel like I was burnt out with football, and I wanted to mention just because like people don't realize I started playing football when I was 6 years old.
Yeah, of course.
And I just finished at 21. And so, like, you can say, okay, I finished third year of college or whatever, but you can also say it was a 15-year football career. Yeah. And so, you bring up this point of burnout and everything, and it really just, like, really brought out something. Because the thing is, right now, the special announcement that I'm going to make is I'm coming out of retirement for football, man. I'm coming out later.
Yes, we need that. We need that. That's a big thing, man.
I'm just playing around. But I did that for clickbait. But, like, I will say the thought of it has definitely come up. And because, like, I'm at this point right now where because I was finally able to step away from the game and finally to stop having the pressure, stop continuously, like, wanting... I think it's not even the fact of wanting success, but having to get instant success. Yeah. And, like, I think, like, because I was able to have a mindset, like you noticed, I lost 50 pounds. And I think just because I didn't put a timeline on it, or I didn't have, nobody was competing with me to gain the 50 pounds. I didn't have to worry about my spot getting taped. If I'm not getting all these 50 pounds, there's no external pressure. It's really not even a true reason for me to do it other than me just wanting to. And
now that you're in a spot where you're no more chasing, and now all you're doing is pushing yourself.
It's all internal motivation. Exactly. It's all internal motivation. Exactly. It's not a coach of making me upset. It's not me fearing, am I doing it the right way forward? Because like I was just playing basketball, I'm walking, I'm able to experience new things, try new things, get comfortable on my own. And I think it was one of the greatest things. Like I think if I were to come out of retirement and play, I would be a significantly better football player.
Because that's because what happens now is you took time for your body to understand that football, you need to break from football. That's true. And the thing is, I'm very glad that that he understands, and this is something I didn't understand, but I later found out. But he understands now that it was a conscious burnout. Mm-hmm. You had a burnout.
For sure.
For me, I was just coping with it. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to come to a realization that I had a burnout, and I knew it, but I always tried to gaslight myself that it wasn't burnout.
For sure.
But you are taking it face on and taking responsibility as a burnout. Yeah. And that's something that I didn't do. And I'm working to this day, taking that responsibility of doing that.
And so my thing is like, at what point did you realize it?
Dude, after like April, like 2020.
So this is like right when we was just right where we left off in the story.
Yeah. Something like when I came back from Spain, something big just changed, and I got off of social media in the summertime in 2020, was it 2024?
You deleted social media?
Deleted social media.
Dude.
Deactivated Instagram, got off of Snapchat.
I want you to continue, but I think that is actually the most I think that is something that it's necessary.
Exactly.
Because I took it was only, it ended up, I said I was going to take a month, it only been like 3 weeks off of social media for the first, for the new year. Yeah. And like just everything just seemed different, bro. The clarity, just the locked in. Like that's when I started the content, and that's when things started popping.
It's coming up in your head, right? And the thing is, for me, when I was doing that, but I think I got off of it for 7 months. Mm-hmm. Think about that.
Wow.
An athlete, and I missed out on so many brand deals.
7 months.
So much money, so much brand deals is gone. Okay, yeah, for sure. So 7 months off of social media, it's crazy, because a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah, not at all.
Not even money.
Not at all. Bro, a lot of people, like seriously, a lot of people could do 7 hours to 7 days. I give people 7 days. 7 months? Sheesh.
The thing is, obviously, like also without social media, a lot of people lose contact. And the thing is, I also lost I wouldn't say I lost friends, but I lost a lot of connections not connections, but
the close acquaintances. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
because at this time I was I didn't go pro in the summertime. I was gutted. Mm-hmm. I had that Spain. I was almost so close to the end of Spain, but that would have been me being desperate. Mm-hmm. And in this sport, if you're desperate, you will lose. Really, I swear to God, you will lose if you're desperate. So now what happened was I went to Ghana. Mm-hmm. No one knew about that. I went to Ghana off of social media.
Man, I had no clue. I know that.
And I Snapchat everything.
Yeah.
Just and I had an own private TikTok. I didn't even have a main TikTok. I had a private TikTok. So that's the only social media I had. Yeah. And I was grinding for 3 months. Then I went to Czech Republic. That was my first big opportunity again. Yeah. and I went back there. I went to UK first. The UK, because of like you had to play somewhere else first before you come to the UK for professional, didn't work out. So right after that, went to Czech Republic. Czech Republic, dude, I was about to sign a contract there for a big team. It's called Slavia Prague, the B team, the second team. So I was so close, dude, and they gave me that contract in January to come sign it. But then that Cyprus opportunity came with Ammonia, that big team. Because I don't even know. My agent just worked it out. Boom, he said you're going there. I said bet. I dished Czech Republic, went to Cyprus.
And when is this? About what month?
This is. I went to Czech Republic in November.
Okay.
Came back to America to rest.
So this recent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Recent.
Okay.
And I came back to then I went to Cyprus to go sign my contract in January. Right. And I still didn't put it on social media after I signed. I was that committed to be off of social media. I was really that committed. I literally told those guys to hold off on my social media posting. They posted me on obviously team meals, like this, like regular pictures.
Yeah.
They did not post my signing, and nowhere.
Really?
Nowhere.
Really?
I told them I want to keep it on the low because I don't want to be distracted. They understood. Now my agent said, Kelvin, it's about time to get back on social media because there were some brands.
It's endorsement. Yeah, it's money to be made.
You know, you can't have social media off. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna open up. And I didn't want to open up, but I opened up. You know, and during this time I was very, very spiritual. You know, so I asked God. Obviously, I made a promise with God that I won't do certain things. You know, and He granted me what I wanted. You know, what I've always wanted to be professional. So, and obviously we're climbing up to maybe Champions League, World Cup. You know, a lot of goals in my life. Obviously now that I'm a professional, but you know, I was very spiritual during these 7 months off social media. So what happens now is I was out of burnout. Out of burnout because it was just me and God. There was no one else in it, just me and God. It was just me and God. So now I just pushed through and signed a contract. Now I thought I was very good. I mentioned earlier I was one of the best players in America. What now happened is, dude, that European game is different. I'm fast. I'm strong. I'm all those things. I was probably the best athlete on the team, but that doesn't mean anything, dude.
Skills.
I'm telling you, bro. Like if you think of basketball, right? Yeah, skill level. Not the skill level, just. They're strong mentally. They're very, very smart. Yeah, very smart. You know, I don't want to say I look like a headless chicken. I don't want to say I never played sport before, but that's honestly what I look like. Because bro, think of basketball. Like you're one defender, right? You're very, very athletic, very, very athletic. Think like Kawhi Leonard, and you have two just role players, bro, just passing the ball around. 2 versus 1, the 2 will always win over the 1. Yeah. And because I thought in America it was very easy to hawk down players because I'm just athletic, so I'm able to hawk down the ball very quickly, and people aren't smart to break down opponents. I never really, and even in Ghana, they weren't really breaking me down. Obviously I knew there's some flaws in my play, but there wasn't. I knew I was going to grow into it, dude. When I went to Cyprus, bro, especially when I was playing first division before they blew me out, dude, they were breaking me down like I never played before. They were breaking me down, bro. And the thing is, they told me that I was not smart mentally. They said that I was not. I was like, how do you say? I was like stubborn. I always went with the first decision, and sometimes it's not always about the first decision. It was like you had to think, you had to read it, you had to read the game, understand the game, watch the game, watch the film. Soccer, I never watched film. I barely in film because that was like how good I was. I hate bragging. I like to be humble, but that was how good I was. I've never even had to watch film because I just knew that players in America were all the same.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
In Europe, there's so many different tactics, so many different playing styles. So now, and a player that I am, I'm a fast defender. Now that does obviously need some work on the ball. You know, to understand the game completely. You know, but that's the only thing I have right now. But it does take time for that. You can teach technical, but you cannot teach the physical. Right? In every sport, you can teach the technical. You can teach a quarterback how to throw. You can teach a quarterback how to evade a tackle. You cannot teach a quarterback how to run. Yeah. You cannot teach a quarterback how to be strong. Those things come naturally. I don't care how much bench press you do. I don't care how much you train in running. Everything's genetical and everything is
you know, they always say experience is the best teacher.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I love that. I love that you said that because experience for all sports, I just feel like for me, experience is the most important thing other than skill. Like skill doesn't mean nothing but experience. A guy that doesn't want to play soccer that has been on the field for 10 years for Real Madrid will beat me that played soccer all my life and never played at a professional level just because he knows what to do. He's seen players like me.
For sure.
So that's why for me, in my opinion, as a young athlete, especially the guys who are trying to break into professional and other sports as well, I feel like you have to live life. Like for me, somebody told me, his name is George, he's on my team. Someone told me that football is life. Life is football. The way that you approach life is the way that you're going to approach football. The way you approach, like, American football is the way you're going to approach life. The way you approach life is the way. So let's say, for example, right? Some of y'all might not understand. You leave a dish on the counter, Your mom always has to tell you, clean the dish. How can I respect you? I don't know anything, but how can your body, because at the end of the day, you cannot lie to your body. How can I respect my body, right? I just left a dish on the plate. I mean, I just left a dish on the shelf. I didn't clean it. I was lazy. How can I expect my body to come fight for me when I'm on the field? I was supposed to run a route, right? Or let's say I was supposed to pass the ball. I got the ball back, but I was lazy to pass the ball extra long, you know. I was lazy to run the extra route, you know. I was lazy. And now what happens now? Game day, I'm lazy to be able to understand what the opponent is doing because I'm used to that. So what now, how to fix that is make your bed in the morning. Seriously. Read your Bible in the morning. You know, even if you're not Christian or not religious at all, do something be responsible. Be responsible. You know, make sure your room is clean all. It's not all. I know it's messy, but make sure your room is clean at all times. For sure. Make sure you're eating healthy. Make sure you're eating good. You can reward yourself sometimes because you know that's obviously what's needed.
And so you said you like to study people and everything. So have you read across the name Andrew Huberman?
No.
So he does podcasts on YouTube and everything, and he's a neuroscientist or whatever. But I remember he had David Goggins on the show. Okay. And one of the episodes he was talking about how like. It's some part of your brain, I don't even want to try to butcher it because it's probably wrong, but it was something part of your brain that really feeds off of micro sucks. Yeah. So things in your life that that you don't want to do, if you continue to do those things that you don't want to do consistently, you're literally building this muscle in your brain to it allows you to handle pressure better, handle trials better. And I love how you said because you hear the same sorts of things about football. So that I like to say, and I've probably said this on multiple episodes. Though my football experience wasn't the best, I'm still very thankful for that I did it and the qualities and instilled in me. Because like you said, one thing that I heard was how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you are slacking on one thing, you know what I'm saying? It literally affects everything. And I think that's why I think the no social media thing was huge, very huge. Because like you said, like making your bed in the morning. I think humans are the most dangerous when we have comfortability. It's not even just comfort, but just. I think humans are the most dangerous when we are consistent. Yes. And when we can consistently show up, and that's when I was saying the things that you don't want to do. That's why I think making your bed is such a perfect example. My best times in life are for sure the times where I'm just being intentional about making my bed. I think there's a whole book. It is a whole book called "Make Your Bed," just because it starts your day and all that. And like you said, starting your day with your Bible, just building consistent habits. They're like keystone habits because everything flows from that too. And I know what you said. I mean, that point what you said about if you leave the dish in one thing, it's the same type of feel on the soccer field. I could 100% feel all of that, man.
Yes, and that's honestly, I believe I'm happy that you understand that, but a lot of people don't understand that. It's like, oh man, I could go party all the time, and I could do this, and I will still be good. And I had to learn it the hard way. Me being the big athlete that parties every week, I'm not at that level yet. And I'm sorry, nobody's at that level yet. I'm sorry, if you're this age, you're not at that level in all honesty, because you have no experience. You cannot have a bad game and people be like, oh, this is one off. No, if you have a bad game, people be like, start asking questions. They're like, is he really good?
Really?
That's what it is, and especially in young sports. Cause
really?
Because if I go to Lionel Messi, if it's a bad game, he's good at the end of the day. You know he's good. Yeah. But the thing is, you guys, no one really understands. Obviously in this area, people know me, but no one knows me in the world for real. I'm not a big player, so if I have a bad game, especially a bad game, no one would really defend me. No one would be like, oh, this is one I'm. No, it'd be like, you're a bad player. And there's
people fighting for that contract too. Exactly, it's not like a coach can just
you can't help me like that. So the thing is, now you gotta go. Life is about what you want from it. Do I want to become that partier? Do I want to be partying all the time? Drinking all the time, doing drugs all the time, and just living life like that, or do I want to do something in my life? I'm not necessarily in soccer or athletics is the only thing in life. I'm saying if you want to become successful in whatever you do, you have to give something up. God will always do good for you, right? If you have a good heart, if you have a good intention behind it, and that is what I have believed. If you have a good intention behind what you do, God will do it for you. Especially, I want to, this is to my plans, but obviously I think it's good for people. I want to, how do you say it? Eventually adopt children. The Bible said that if you help the orphans, God will bless you. God, if you help the orphans and help the widows, God is lending from you. God is going to lend from you because you're helping God. So what happens now is God will bless you 10 times fold in the future. Literally, that's the honest truth. And the blessing might not come down, blessing not come in 50 years, but one time when I'm going to need the blessing, that God knows I'm going to need it, it will come.
Literally.
It will come.
And that's one of my friends told me, it's like God's laws is like, it's like gravity. It's not like, that's not something that is, subjective. Like if I help out somebody, then he might bless me. It's like, it's a literal fact that
it's going to
happen. Like it's going to happen for a fact. And it's just such a peaceful and calming way to live your life. And that's why, like I said, I love starting my day with my Bible and going back just the consistent habit. Because I mentioned earlier, just the keystone habits. The wisdom in the Bible. Like, and I tell people this all the time. Obviously, I believe in the Creator.
Yeah.
And I believe, there's an omniscient present over our life.
Of course.
But even if I did, just following the principles of the Bible alone,
it's very good.
Dude, just like living life like that, living life righteous. And like, man, you said something earlier that reminded me of it. But just like even the small stuff, like the discipline, like my diet. I really just eat the stuff that the Bible says.
Yes.
Like it tells you to not eat meat, or the only eat that you eat. Make sure to choose the church. So eliminate stuff like the pigs, or like pork and all that. You're not stuff that you're not supposed to be eating.
Yes.
But it promotes the stuff like beef and red meat and stuff like that. And then like milk and honey, raw milk and honey. All these there's literally stuff that you can eat from the Bible. So like I find it so interesting how the Bible is, if nothing else, already like a blueprint on how to live, a solid and good life, man. And that was something that really helped me. But I want to go back to the thing because we really brought up a good point, and we really brought up something that I want the other people to hear. Just with you talking about how when you took your time off and you're just consistently doing right, and you changed your whole lifestyle, and like you changed and you really became that like that lifestyle of a pro soccer player, and I think that is one of the best things, because number one, you had a vision. It's very clear. Like, if talking to you for 10, 15 minutes, it's clear that you had a vision and you stuck to that vision, and you made sure that type of stuff happened. Yes. And
that's why I always tell people that when people tell you that your competition will fall, I can almost swear to God they will fall. There's no way if you we're playing soccer, right? Mm-hmm. And I played soccer for years, but you had a how do you say, even though I know I'm going to be better than you, if you had the confidence that you will be better than me and that you are better than me, eventually my confidence will go down. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's not giving up.
Really? Yeah, for sure.
And I'm tired of just having this guy in my ear because it's about the annoyance. Oh man, I had to look my back. Oh, this guy's still here, And the thing is, like, that's what I want to tell people, like athletes around you, like we are this North Georgia has one of the best athlete diaspora in the whole country. And if we continue, we can run all the sports leagues professionally. We can run the MLB. You have Drew Jones, 19 years old, went pro. Yeah. We have me. I went pro at 19 years old as well. You have other people in this area like Josh Downs. Travis Hunter. Exactly. This is all in the area,
Bro, I be telling people this, and this coming from somebody who has dual citizenship. I know you didn't say it on the podcast, but we were talking pre. You were saying that you think that our area has some of the best talent in the world.
Literally, the best talent. And the thing is, like, people were saying California, Texas. No, I know what North Georgia has. I've seen it. I came from it. I started competitive soccer at 14. Look at where I am now at 14. Imagine kids that are getting raised to do stuff. Like, we have the best.
Yes, and we mentioned earlier, and I said it before in another episode, I think it's just always the standard, bro. Like you said it, bro, D1
it's not enough.
It's not good enough.
Playing D1 in North Georgia is not enough. And that's the honest
shit. Honest, it's honestly got to a point where like I remember like people would when you like think about where's so and so at, and you say they're in the D1 program, that deserves a praise. That deserves an applause,
right? But the thing is, for us, it's
okay, yeah,
right.
And that's not normal.
It's not normal. Because imagine going to like Alabama, like a random city in Alabama, and their hometown kid went to like a big school, like let's say Penn State. Yeah. The hometown's gonna go behind. It takes a village.
They all know them.
Exactly.
Like you go back to that town and you wear a college football shirt, they're mentioning, oh well, I know so and so at this school. He at Penn State.
But the thing is, in this area, if let's say for me, I play football all the time, I'm playing at Penn State, they're like, oh, is he getting playing time? But you know what's funny? Funny? That's the level of competitiveness that we have, and I enjoy that.
Is he going to go to the league?
Is he going to go to the league? That's the honest question. Is he going to go to the league? Because most guys, especially like in Nevada, I go there, even though it's a good sports state. Mm-hmm. I know there's guys there that, all I'm trying to do is get to T1, man. We take it in the league later. No, over in this area, the college is just a phase. They want you to be in that league. They want you to be in that league. and that's what's really going to it ties people to like wow. You know, that's kind of crazy though. It's not like crazy the standard in this area.
Dude, my thing is, I just wonder like why. It's just I feel like Georgia's like random. Like North Georgia, like what? Out of nowhere, out of all places.
Because we have the best though. We have Milton, Buford, North. I'm only talking about football. I'm not even talking about basketball. I'm only talking about football. Grayson, Milton, Walton, Alatoona, and that's a terrible school to us, but they have some D1 talent over there. Marietta,
all of Gwinnett, like Collins Hill,
all Gwinnett,
Mill Creeks.
All of them. And Forsyth County.
We could be naming, Forsyth. And, bro, there's so many places on the come up, too. Like, the private schools in this area,
JC. I mean, what else do you have? Hebron.
Eagles Landing Christian always got
Atlanta International School. I mean, you have a lot of schools around here. St. Pius.
Go forever. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you mentioned it before, so you were saying that this is some of the best talent you see internationally.
Internationally, bro. I'm trying to tell you, if there was if we could just make like an all-star team, like 6 all-star teams for like North Atlanta for basketball. Yeah. I can almost swear to God, they would athletic wise, they would take over the basketball league in Europe.
Really?
The only thing that puts us out though, I will say, the only thing that puts us out is we are the best athletically. And because football is such an athletic sport and doesn't require much technical work, you guys are able to perform because this is basketball though. The reason why you don't see much Americans in the basketball league in Europe because everybody thinks with their head, bro.
Dude, it's skill, bro, and like. And this is something that I'll get into maybe in a different topic for basketball, like just talking basketball. But like I watch a lot of basketball. I watch a ton of basketball, and one thing I always know, I said if I was a general manager and I was like an owner for a team, I would have a lot of Europeans on the team. And the reason why, and it makes so much sense that you said for soccer too, because it's the same way for basketball. Just I think, like you said, they use their head so much more. It's like. They don't go into a move like an American. They make a move. Yeah. They know it's their athleticism to where they're going to get to the spot. Yeah. But a European, like it's savvy. It's quick. It's like it's a step ahead. It's anticipation. And like I think that's what you're saying about America. Like we're just so athletic. And I'm interested. That might be why North Georgia is better because you can make the argument our coaching is better because our funding is better and so like facilities where our training is everything better. So like Georgia could just be loaded with athlete and North Georgia's really able to take advantage of that. Exactly. But I found that interesting what you were saying about like the European soccer because I could definitely see that for basketball as well.
And the thing is one thing that puts Americans out is how do you say it? In Europe, there's pros at 14. You cannot have a pro at 14 here.
Seriously.
Impossible.
Yeah, and they've been playing professionally since 14. Like that, and we were just talking about experience. Like the experience that you can get playing against grown men, playing at the highest level.
And people here are like, Kelvin, Yamal is a big player for Barcelona. Yamal's better than you. When he's 17, it's always played professionally, like almost his entire life, right? I just became a professional. So of course he's going to be better than me in some certain things because he's obviously, professional. Even though he hasn't grown completely, he knows how to think with his head. He knows what he's doing.
And I'm glad you brought that point up because that's the next one transition I want to get into. So you said you're young and you're still in the early stages of your career. That's for sure. Yeah. So this is something that I briefly talked to you about. But just let the fans know because most of my audience is going to be football fans, basketball fans. They're just unfamiliar with the soccer space. Just let them know like what are your plans going forward for the next few years or so. Like what is the end goal later down the road?
Next year's World Cup, I'm announcing it. I'm trying to play on that on I'm not gonna say what team yet, but I'm trying to play on a national team to that World Cup. Right now I'm deciding between Ghana and America. I am pointing to the Ghanaian side just on the basis of because my family's from there. I was born there. My family's from there. They've always my ancestors are from there. But I would say America has, they have also brought me and my family over. They were able to give us visas and work, and now I get to live the life I'm living now because America, gave me the opportunity to. But Ghana's the homeland, it's the heartland. So obviously it would be disrespect to do, to serve America and not serve Ghana. It could be the other way around too. For America did a lot for me.
For sure. I mean, it's little good decision you have to make. Like good problem to have.
Exactly. And the thing is, I'm young doing it too as well. So it's like I'm thinking about this now. A lot of people, I'm stressing about it, and this is a good thing to stress about because the thing is, a lot of people are stressing about other things.
Oh my gosh, I had the same issue. Just like when I because I'm graduating at Georgia. I'm graduating here in 3 years. So it was like, for me, it was like, what do I do now? Like, do I get a job? Do I take a gap year? Do I go to college or everything? And then it got to a point where it's like, this is good problem.
It's good problem, right?
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm 21 years old, having to choose between these things. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
So I'm glad, like you mentioned. I think that's really a way that people have to look at it. Just because so many people who are watching this, and it's very clear to me that you are a positive, optimistic person, and that's why I think it's clear that you have a deeper foundation and you have a spiritual root. And I think that just more people should get like that, because when you have this outlook, it makes you realize like so many of our problems really are first world problems. Right. And I'm sure you've seen worse, like, because you've been to so many different countries, so many different areas.
Think about this. An African has nothing at home, nothing. His family's dirt poor, comes to Europe, right? But he's had a big contract. But because he can't sign, the reason why he can't sign is because of the visa. Has to go back home. Can't play football again. Think about that. His whole life for football. Can't play it again.
Wow.
Because that reason. I've seen that.
Like, his life could be changed.
Life could change. And that's sad. Right? That's very sad. And the thing is, that's why, for me, the American visa, it is very, very, I thank God every day for it, man. It is, not visa, citizenship, because it is so strong.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Dang. So, you said you were born in Ghana?
Yeah, born in Ghana, North Nation. So
Okay.
I came here as a city in Ghana, but I was born in North Nation, and I came here at 2 years old.
For sure. I mean, I can imagine the power it has, and just a blessing. I'm glad that it's able to do things for you, man. That's, like I said, that's really just a good problem to have. But just even so, we know the World Cup national is like, what do you, like, at 30 years old, what is Kelvin doing in the soccer space?
Okay, 30 years old, I'll have a career. By the time I'll have a family.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a kid during my career as well, so I'll probably have a kid as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think right now, actually, I didn't mention it, but I have an academy in Ghana. So I'm spending a lot of money actually right now with my salary. I'm spending a lot of money a month for that. So that's around like $1,400, $1,100 a month on my academy every month alone. Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm
very interested in this.
Yeah, of course. So I get kids all over. I'm trying to have the best, obviously. So I'm getting kids all over Ghana, from the poor areas, from the rich areas, and I'm helping them. I'm paying for everything for them, uniform, schooling, everything. And what happens is I'm able to have them in a space where they're living in my academy. I have a place for them to live. I'm renting that as well. That's why it's very expensive. So what happens is I'm having them live there, and they're competing in the Ghanaian third division, which is semi-professional. So what happens now is they're kids too as well. It's an academy, so these are kids playing in the semi-professional league with the adults. These are like kids from the age of like 15 to 17, 18. Yeah, so it's this one team right now, and I'm going to expand once I get a bigger contract, once I get more earnings, I'm able to expand. But right now for that team, and the thing is, those are my kids. I'm trying to bless those kids because those kids that they're not going to have opportunity. I'm honest. I'm being very realistic. They will not have opportunity in their lifetime for what I got going on for them right now.
That's crazy.
I want to move all of these kids to Europe, all these kids. So, I'm hoping God is helping me. God is helping my
way to be a vessel, man. That's some great stuff, bro. That's some great stuff.
Right. And the thing is, I'm trying to pour. I will never talk negative to these kids. The thing is, I have been through that. I've been through where like, oh yeah, you can't play. Oh yeah, you suck. Oh yeah, I've heard all that, and I will never do that to those kids because those kids mean something to me. Those kids, all those kids I picked out, they mean something to me personally. So
And how long you been doing that?
I've been doing it since I signed a contract January. So
okay.
I had everything outlined in the summertime, and I made it happen. Once I started getting paid, endorsements, all this other money in.
Congrats to you on that.
It's called Horizon Football Club.
Okay, shout out Horizon Football Club, man.
Yeah, of course. And then, but back to the question you asked me, what am I doing at 30 years old? I'd want to be playing for a Champions League club or Europa League club at that point. Just constant playing. Obviously, get paid a lot as well. I have a lot of experience. I have a resume at that point.
For sure.
A lot. So at that point, let's see what else. Investing in a company. I have a company that I want to start. It's an agency. So I have some people that obviously in college right now, my friends that are doing sports management, but I want to have an agency that can take care of all sports. Baseball, football, soccer, basketball, right? All sports, hockey, right? I want to have that based in like America and Europe, right? And the thing is, I have clientele from all over, like a big agency, right? And I'm able to, if you need a connection, if the player's good, the connection, right? We have the connection to any sport, put you in where you need to go, college-wise, NFL-wise, college soccer, like and everything, college level, even high school level at that point. I'm sure high school would be pretty big at that point when I'm 30, to where NIL's in high school.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Even maybe even middle school.
Dude,
you know,
we talking about 2035. Oh yeah, it's gonna be crazy,
right? So the thing is, I'm gonna have that agency to where it does that. I'm gonna also be able to scout, my own, not my own, but obviously I'm send scouts out. It's gonna be a pretty big agency.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. We're gonna have to definitely talk about that even after the podcast, bro. But honestly, I mean, it's been close to an hour at this point. So I mean, I know you mentioned that you have a bunch to talk about. We did cover a lot of good topics, and we gave a lot of good insights for the people. I mean, but I'm just opening the floor. Like, what any other final remarks or anything else you want to say?
I would say for me, you should never judge a book by the cover, even how much you believe in that cover. Never. Because if somebody is telling you something with such belief, right? Belief. And they are doing the things to do it, I will never count that person out. Never. I don't care how bad you suck. I don't care. Not everybody can be a professional athlete. But if you can have that still, because confidence is not cheap, bro. Confidence is not cheap at all. It is hard to have confidence. So if you can have that confidence consistently, and you're telling me something and it's like it doesn't look like that right now. I'm not envisioning it, but you believe in it and you're doing the steps to do it, I can never count you out.
For sure. And even if you're not making it your goal, you're gonna make it into something.
It's something.
You're going to make it into something.
But the thing is, I already made my goal.
Yeah.
I'm already a professional. This is a dream that, dude, 1% of people, not like 0.8% of people will never get to. Will never. I am a 0.8% person in this life.
Wow.
That is literally, bro.
In the world. That's
in
crazy.
the world, and it's like, I'm like, wow, bro, and it's still settling in. It's still settling in. There's obviously things I need to work on, but I'm young though. Yeah. I'm not 25 saying this. I'm not 23 saying this. I'm not even 21 saying this.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm young, bro. Doing this. It's like, obviously we don't have. I hate thinking I'm a young guy. That means I have a lot of time. I don't have time. I think that I don't have time.
It's a balance. I remember somebody said this in football, but it's like it's a balance you have to have like patience to trust the long-term process, but the urgency to keep
doing it, right?
Keep doing it, man.
Yeah, the act is coming tomorrow, but you had to have patience to have it long time.
To know that, like, to be okay, if it doesn't come, honestly, you just got to trust the plan.
Trust the process. Yeah, exactly. And God's going to work with you in many ways, man. Maybe that's not your calling.
Bro.
But for me, I'm a big believer of if you believe in it is good in your heart. This is in James, bro. I have a whole Bible thing. I have a whole Bible plan. I read a Bible every day. I have the notes for it in James. I forgot what exactly it was. I'm sorry about that. But in James, it said you should never covet what somebody else has. You should always ask the Lord. And if the Lord is going to give it to you, that means you were ready at the moment. That's what it says. Right?
And I know a verse for me specifically is a little passage in Matthew 7 is the Sermon on the Mount, but he was just talking about how, like, he was like, if your son asks for certain gifts, he was like, if your son asks for certain gifts, or like if your son asks for a fish, you don't give him a stone, or if you give him stuff like that. He was like, if humans who are evil know how to get their sons gifts, what do you think your heavenly Father will give to you? So it's basically just telling you to act like it was one of those who ask will receive type of things. And on to your point where you're just talking about the confidence is just like, I think so many things in this world are if you can only quit if you can only fail if you quit type of things. Like it's so many things that if you can consistently time after keep going and put it on, you can't like you raise your odds significant, man. You can make some things happen. And I'm just glad to see that you are a living testament of that. So
I also have another question though. One more question before we
sure, go ahead.
So for me, this is for like all the North Gwinnett, not North Gwinnett, but like all Gwinnett athletes that made it past the high school level, right? What are we doing to help our high schools out? What are we doing? Because I haven't done any. I'm a professional now. I'm thinking about like probably this summer or even like next fall. I have to go back to get back to the North Gwinnett soccer program.
For sure, that's some real stuff.
And the thing is, a lot of people forget about their high school roots,
dude. And I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's just like, bro, Gwinnett's taken care of. I think that's what it is, bro. And I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're thinking financially. I'm not thinking financially. I'm thinking like it could take one word from you, someone like you.
Yeah, coming back
and saying something to a kid,
yeah,
and that kid will make it NFL. That's all it takes.
It's just or being present at like local camps,
exactly.
Like stuff like that, or just even having local camps,
exactly.
Dude, I know. I mean, shout out North Gwinnett, like, cause I know Jared did something like that. Barrett is pretty active, so shout out North Gwinnett. But just as a whole, for the Gwinnett viewers, man, y'all come back and get back to the community.
Because right now I'm thinking like players like Colin Fox, Justice Haynes, some big guys, Isaiah Bond. I don't see these guys back. And there's no shade to y'all. Y'all my boys. No shade to y'all, but it's like, even just y'all, like even like someone like my boy RJ. Or even like Mario, he played Mario, man. He plays for he played for basketball for Norcross. He went to UGA. I don't see these guys going back to their schools, but I just feel like these are big guys I'm talking about. These are the guys that y'all can understand. I feel like there should be, even if it's not back to the specific high school, I feel like all of us should come together and maybe have a foundation together, or even have like something to really like help these kids out. Not because let's be real, a lot of the places they have money, but even like places like Shiloh. These places are little areas. Like some of us just even stepping foot there could change a lot of kids' lives.
That's a great point. That's actually a great point. That's something that we like to get some people together and make it happen.
Exactly. And if someone like you have that say. Because for me, I was a soccer player, so I don't have that say to go tell these guys to do it. But someone like you're a Georgia Tech player. You're a team player. I mean, you were in this space with these guys. Like, you've seen these guys play. It's
just like the fact that I know a lot of people. Too, like I could probably really get something together. I mean, hey, comment if y'all want to make it happen, man.
Exactly, man.
Share this and get it exposure, bro.
Get it.
We might need to make that happen, but a wonderful guest on the show. I hope we gave y'all some great things. I told y'all it was gonna be a good one, and Kelvin, we're gonna have to have you back. We're gonna have to have you back, man.
I need to. Maybe next time is you come to Europe, I get you out there.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to stay tuned for your success, bro. We're gonna have to keep showing people what you up to, man. Everything, but again, just so glad to have you on the show. And if you made it this far, I appreciate you more than you know. As always, y'all be good, be blessed.
Thank you.
Peace.